Yes, freedom for Jose Daniel Ferrer Garcia and the rest of the political prisoners in Cuba now. We are also requesting the freedom of those political prisoners of Venezuela, Nicaragua, North Korea, and China. This man who is innocent, was kidnapped from his home and is being tortured in the hellish prisons of Cuba. Here, once again, good morning to all my fellow Americans. God bless you. God bless America. And here, once again, to report on what's happening. Just in case the signal goes, because I'm having problems with the signal. Maybe later on, I'm thinking about a camcorder of quality to see if I can keep on doing the news without any interruption. But just in case it happens, you can go to my blog, which is by my name, Eduardo Rodriguez. I pledge allegiance to the flag. You can go to my blog, and all the news that I want to talk about here, believe me, is on that blog. So before I start, I'm going to give an advertisement here for a friend of mine, like always. Try to help him out with his business. His business called Dr. Tech. I got one of the how you call advertisements already here posted. I'm just doing this to help him out in his business. Okay, I got it right here. We should put that on here and show it so everybody can see it. Everybody who's interested in this equipment here. Oh God, here we go again. No, this is terrible because sometimes it'll. Okay, now it makes me go again. This is not easy. It's just, oh, what a piece of work. Okay, let me put it this way, see what happens. Now it's gonna go the way I wanted it to go. It's crazy. This is just terrible. Okay, let's obviate it. It's about these electrical generators, which work on batteries and solar panel. There's a cheap version, there's a middle type version, which costs a little bit more, and this is the most expensive, which works on 220. This is an alternative to gasoline operated generators, which you have to deal with contaminants like oil change and gasoline. And if there's leakage, or then you're choking the system, so it can start up. with this system, you don't have to do that, and it's almost completely silent. You barely can hear it. It's like operating a microwave oven, something like that. Maybe even less noisy than that, because I've heard it operating it, and it doesn't make barely any noise. And if you have a gasoline type, but you're interested in this, don't get rid of your gasoline type just in case you have trouble with the other one. It's a good alternative. I'm thinking about it, and plus, like I said, you don't have to deal with contaminants. The contaminants can affect you, like it did to me, I had to deal with gasoline and aviation gasoline in the military, and it's scarred my lungs. So I recommend if we can little by little start getting rid of dealing with contaminants, it'd be a lot better. Well, let me go with the news before I run out of a signal here, because I can be speaking here, then suddenly, boom, the signal just goes off. But like I said, you can go to my blog, and there you can find everything posted there. Let me get rid of some of these. I don't know what happened today. Sometimes this will work where I put it with the way I want it, and it'll stabilize itself automatically. And then today, just pain in the rear. Okay, let me get rid of this one here. Let me get rid of this one and this one. So now we're going to go to the news. They got too much news today because for some reason, well, there wasn't much to talk about. I try to go to the point, especially with jihad, with this the religion of peace, Islam, supposedly religion of peace. There wasn't much as how I like to put a news that is the most important and most impressive of the news, which talks about the massacres or the killings, because they call themselves a religion of peace, which many of us with common sense know it's not true. It's a lie. It's a criminal organization. Even an ex-Muslim said it. I'm not sure if it was Robert Spencer or so. I know they were interviewing one of these ex-Muslims who walked away from the religion and denounced it. And he said, because they asked him, well, what can you say about they asked him about the religion of peace. And he said, well, the first criminal organization in history. And that's what it is, criminal organization. Nothing to do with the real God of Israel, nor the Bible, which their prophet, so-called prophet, took out of the Torah to create his so-called Quran 600 years after the death of Christ. Okay, so let me go to, let me find the area where I have posted okay, here it is. This is in Australia. Muslim stands 4 people at random. 4 people at random. Killing 2. Cops say 0 evidence of its terrorism. Australia stand. Another stupid country that's idiot as hell. The government. I don't. It's the fault of the people. They vote for that crap. What the hell you can expect? You vote for liberals and forget about it. The country's going to go to shit. It's going to go to hell. There's no evidence, even though there's 4, 2 were killed. 4 people were attacked, 2 were killed. There's no evidence of terrorism. Can you believe this crap? It sounds like the Communist Party, which keeps calling themselves Democrats here in the United States, composed by Pelosi, Adam Schiff, Adam Nadler, and all these other Biden, Bernie Sanders, corrupt to the core. All these weird, extremely evil people. That's all it's composed of. All these people, they support evil. And it's something, Obama's another one. When the killings, the massacres in California and every other places, oh no, Islam is a religion of peace. That's what will come out of the mouth of this piece of horse manure. So it's not related, even though there's evidence, there's no evidence that it's terrorists. Stupid country, stupid. What kind of police they're recruiting there? That say there's nothing. No. Well, that's what the people vote for. That's what they get. Okay, let's go to the next news. Don't Democrats understand that the virus is the one that kills? Okay. This title, I put the title myself, because Illinois mayor may ban guns, firearm sales over coronavirus panic. Coronavirus is the one that is killing killing people, and they blame it on the guns. So I put the title, Don't Democrats Understand That the Virus is the One That Kills, Not the Guns? They look for any excuse to get rid of the guns. They found one. Coronavirus. Now coronavirus is the one killing, and they blame it on the guns. So, what the hell? Let me show you here. Now this the title by the mayor who's requesting it. And I put the other title was, I invented it myself. Or I created it myself. So let's go to the next news. Okay. Deranged Hollywood, I did again. That's another title that I put myself. But the original title is Hollywood Spreads Fake News, Trashes, calling Trump A-H. Oh, let me put it a-hole. You figure out the rest. Trump during coronavirus press. These are incredibly stupid. Like if Trump was the one who created the virus. And they're the one who's supposed to be called the a-hole. You figure out the rest. Fill out the other blank of the other two letters. Hollywood stars hurled insults at President Trump and spread false claim that during his latest coronavirus press conference at the White House Rose Garden, where the president declared a national emergency and announced measures that send the major stock indices soaring late Friday. So celebrities called President Trump it says it here, asshole and moron on social media as he announced his administration's plan to free up $50 billion to fight the spread of coronavirus. The president also put forth economic incentives, including waiving students' interest payment on federal loans. No matter what he does is bad. Do you believe that Bernie Sanders had the gall to call Trump the most evil president in history? When he's the evil one who's intended to destroy America by imposing communism on America? And then, liberals are so stupid, are so incredibly stupid, that say Bernie Sanders is not a communist, he's a socialist. When the title of the country of the ex-Soviet Union says it all, it says something like a Republic Socialist of the Union, of the Soviet Union, something like that. I'm not going to look it up right now, but it's more or less, I think I said it right. I don't know if I said it right, but it does say socialist. A communist country, it says it. So it proved that socialism is a path toward communism. Whether you like it or not. There you go, liberals. You figure out that one out. I don't think you have common sense, enough sense to figure out or want to figure out. But that's what it is. Look at the title. What was the title of the ex-Soviet Union, which mentions the word socialist? Where millions of people were killed. Millions. I think it was 50 million, if I'm not mistaken. In China, 60 million. Okay, let's go to the next one. No matter how much I talk here or scream here, leaders that we could probably negotiate with them or consider them an ally, but they're communists. Nothing good comes out of communism. Nothing good. You got Bernie Sanders, for example. There's nothing good about him. Nothing good. He lies through his teeth, and there's people that believe him. People believe him. Believe the crap coming out of his mouth. Okay, let's go to the next news. Another nutcase from Hollywood. I put that one on too. Let's read from the original title. Actress Sandra Bernhard another nutcase. I put that down, like I said. There'd be none of this cows on the rightful president, Hillary Clinton's watch. Hillary Clinton, the most corrupt person, the most evil witch in history of politics. And she says, this nutcase says, you can look at her, even her face says she's nuts. Says none of the cows there's a cure in the United States. Which cows? The one the coronavirus started? Because the economy is going great. As a matter of fact, with all this, it's still, moving. But on the communism, it's not going to move. On the Hillary, it ain't going to move. Because the only thing she's interested in buying interest. I mean, not buying interest. Just monetary interest. That's all her purpose in life. She wants riches. You give me money and I'll prove this and I'll prove this project for you and I'll prove your interest in the United States. I'll prove you the sale of uranium and all the kind of corrupt things that this lady this conniving witch from hell has done against the United States. She's a traitor. She should be in the gallows. Go to another one. Let's pray for the protection and health of this great man. This is another title I put down concerning to Donald Trump. Speculation that Trump has coronavirus rage again at the press conference. So we should pray for him. Let's pray for him and Mike Pence and all the family of Donald Trump and Pence family too. Let's pray to God that he can keep healthy and keep doing good for the way he's doing for our country. Let's go to the next one. The reason why I'm going a little quick because there's videos and I'm sure I'm going to go 1 minute or another. I'm going to run out of a signal here because it just happens every day. Is happening. Remember, this is a tropical island. Puerto Rico is a tropical island, and one more or another, the signal's going to come because it started to cloud. Let's pray. Okay, I just think that ain't. Okay, there was this lady here that asked Trump a question, and Trump responded. I just think that's a nasty question. There's a video here. Let me put it down. Maybe it's not nasty in the sense that she spitted out a word, a nasty word. But the question looks like it was deplorable and undesirable. He said nasty. That's all they're trying to discredit Trump for. These liberal press reporters just trying to, or from the stream left, are just trying to discredit our president. So that's a video here of this lady. Where Trump answers back.
Question is, you said that you don't take responsibility, but you did disband the White House pandemic office and the officials that were working in that office.
Thousands of lives because of the quick closing. And when you say me, I didn't do it. We have a group of people. I could ask perhaps in my administration, but I could perhaps ask Tony about that because I don't know anything about it. I mean, you say we did that. I don't know anything about it.
You don't know
spending
about the reorganization that happened at the National Security
Administration. Perhaps they do that. People let people go. You used to be with a different newspaper than you are now. Things like that happen.
But this is an
Please go ahead. We're doing a great job. Let me tell you, these professionals behind me and these great, incredible doctors and business people, the best in the world, and I can say that whether it's retailers or labs or anything you want to say, these are the best in the world. We're doing a great job. And we are 40 people right now, 40. Compare that with other countries that have many, many times that amount. And one of the reasons we have 40 and others have, and again, that number's going up, just so you understand. And a number of cases, which are very small, relatively speaking, it's going up. but we've done a great job because we acted quickly, we acted early. And there's nothing we could have done that was better than closing our borders to highly infected areas. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Okay, that's it. Let's go to the next news. There's one video. Let's go to the next one. Next news. This is some more videos. Donald Trump declares National Day of Prayer amid coronavirus battle. This guy's just great. He loves God. He prays to God, the true God of Israel. And the Democrats who support and embrace Islamic groups, criminal organizations, and criminal organization. When I mean that, they also embrace communism, who hates religion, and Islam, who hates Christ, who hates the God of Israel, who's anti-Christ, anti-God, and they have the gall to criticize our president and our nation and our God and our Constitution. Let's go to the next news. Okay, there's videos. Let me go to the videos because there's quite a bit of videos. I might not put all the videos down, but well, there's a lot happening in Venezuela. But I'm going to stay away from that because I put that in the Spanish video that I'm gonna post later on. I'm going to videotape a Spanish video and talk about what's happening in Venezuela. So if you want to hear, for those who can understand Spanish, I wish there were videos in English because it's good that we understand what's happening. Okay, let me go to where I post. Okay. Let's see this one here.
Democratic strategist has some very bad news about Joe Biden's deteriorating mental health. I'm Josh Bernstein, filling in for Gary Franchi in the Next News Network. Now, before I get to that story, folks, remember Next News is being heavily censored and taken out of suggested videos. So please do us a favor. Make sure you're still subscribed. You're getting your notifications. And of course, if you're new to the channel, please check out the news that are in the description below. Now, let's get to your story here. According to Mike LeChamp, that's from American Lookout Reports, it's becoming increasingly obvious that Corn Pop Joe Biden has some serious health issues. Almost every single time he speaks in public these days, he says or does something so off the wall that people begin to talk about it. One Democratic strategist who happens to be a Bernie Sanders supporter addressed this on Tucker Carlson's show this week. Democratic strategist and backer of Senator Breadline Bolshevik Bernie Sanders, Justin Horowitz, said during a Thursday appearance on Tucker Carlson tonight that Joe Biden is mentally deteriorating and that it will be a disaster if the Democratic Party's establishment and their efforts to shield the former vice president prevail, leading to a head-to-head matchup with President Trump. Go and roll this clip.
Justin Horowitz is a Sanders supporter. He joins us tonight. Justin, thanks so much for coming on. So I'll just put it as bluntly as I can. Do you think we're watching the election being stolen from Bernie Sanders?
Well, I don't necessarily think that it's being stolen, but the stops that are being pulled out by the Democratic establishment and the corporate elite to prevent Sanders from getting the nomination is pretty remarkable, right? The oldest civil rights...
Of course, he's a communist, dummy.
...in the country today released a statement denouncing the voter suppression efforts in both Texas and California that predominantly affected counties that were going to go for Sanders and going to go for Sanders pretty heavily. They're really pulling out all the stops. And so what you're seeing is the same pundits and strategists that told us that only Hillary can beat Trump in 2016 have converged and made this alliance with a bunch of neoconservatives from the Bush era like Bill Kristol, Mike Bloomberg, and David Frum, Rick Wilson, to basically tell us, yeah, only Biden can beat only Biden can beat Trump now. And the problem with that is we all see that Joe Biden is a defective product that will break in the general election. We all see it. We're not allowed to talk about it, but he's clearly not all there. And so Bernie Sanders is the only candidate that can actually beat Donald Trump. And they are pulling out all the stops because, you know, the war profiteers, the financial monopolists on Wall Street, they don't want to pay taxes. They don't want the interest rate.
They don't want America destroyed.
No, that is true. So let me ask you, you said that you think that Biden is less capable of beating the president than Bernie Sanders is.
Absolutely.
Why do you say that?
I think for a variety of reasons. Joe Biden sold us the war in Iraq. Joe Biden is on record talking about cutting Social Security and Medicare. Joe Biden pushed for the increase in private prisons. Joe Biden has cozied up to the credit card industry more than any candidate in the race.
Meanwhile, there are people on the left who are trying to say that Biden's mental health is off limits after questioning Trump's mind for over 3 years. The double standard is sickening. Obviously, there is something majorly wrong with Joe Biden. Now, I don't say this to be mean-spirited or anything, but he is exhibiting signs of not early onset dementia, but mid-dementia. I would say he's at least stage 2, if not getting closer to stage 3. I don't wish him ill harm or anything like that, but there's even a slight possibility that he may not even make it to November, okay? Because he is deteriorating very rapidly. He's lashing out at people. That's one of the telltale signs towards the end. My father experienced this and went pretty soon right after that. Again, I'm not wishing this upon him, but I am saying that he is deteriorating. I agree with this guest. I agree with the fact that there needs to be some type of intervention here. This is elder abuse at its finest. And, I don't think the Democrats care. I don't think that they care about Joe or his health or anything. And they're going to let this old, feeble, deteriorating man go out there and continue to make a fool of himself and not do anything about it. Now, I know what you're all thinking. Hey, keep going. Let's do that. Let's make sure that happens. I understand because, of course, I'm on the Trump train and I want to see President Trump not only debate him, but absolutely demolish him or anybody else they're going to try to put up. But this is pretty sad, folks. I mean, that's the reality. This guy is deteriorating right in front of our eyes. It's very sad. If you have parents, if you are someone that you know that has deteriorated like this, you know what I'm talking about. They call it the long goodbye for a reason because it is extremely sad to watch. And Joe Biden's deterioration, well, that's no different. Those are my thoughts. What are yours? Put them down in the comments below. Give us a like, give us a share. Continue to watch the Next News Network. I'm Josh Bernstein, filling in for Gary Franchi. If you want to learn more about me, check out the Josh Bernstein Show on YouTube and now streaming on Roku TV. And we'll see you on the next report.
So here's the deal. We got to continue.
Let me go to the next one. Let me see this. Let me see if this is the same one or another one.
Democratic strategist has some very...
It's the same one. I want to see if there's something on Mark Dice. Mark Dice is great.
How disgraceful. Bernie Sanders is...
Okay, wait a minute. This is about Bernie Sanders. Let me put this one on. This is different.
How disgraceful. Bernie Sanders is using the coronavirus as a fundraising tool. Josh Bernstein filling in for
He's
Gary
a communist. What can you expect from a evil communist?
Remember, Next News is being heavily
They're all the same.
taken out of suggested videos.
Evil to the
please
core.
Do us a favor. Make sure you're still subscribed. Make sure you're getting your notifications. And of course, if you're new to the channel, please check out the newsletter in the description below. Now let's get to your story here.
I don't know a communist who's good.
From the Daily Caller, Vermont Senator breadline Bolshevik Bernie Sanders is using public fears about the coronavirus as a fundraising tool for his 2020 presidential campaign.
That's because he's a communist.
Sanders sent out a campaign email to supporters on Monday asking them to sign a petition demanding that the government guarantee the potential off of health care. I'm not very confident in the president's ability to manage this crisis, he wrote in the email. Health experts agree that the spread of the coronavirus will likely get a lot worse before it gets better, Sanders added. Donald Trump must stop spreading lies and fears and leave the science to the scientists and health professionals, not the politicians. The petition linked then in the email includes 3 questions counting the donation pitch. The other 2 questions asked respondents if they believe that vaccines, tests, treatments, and quarantines related to the coronavirus should be free. Well, obviously, that's an open-ended question to ask a socialist zombie, moron follower of Bernie Sanders defeat their movement. Well, I think the fact that you're socialists and communists are defeating your own movement. America will never be a socialist country, breadline Bernie, and your kind is not welcome here. Americans fought and died in world wars trying to defeat people like Bernie Sanders. Let that sink in, okay? Our soldiers have died on the battlefields fighting communism, and yet we have a communist running for president of the United States. It is sick, it is twisted, it is evil, and it must be defeated. All of them, including Corn Pop. Those are my thoughts. What are yours? Put them down in the comments below. Give us a like, give us a share.
Now I'm going to give my opinion on
The
that.
Next News Network. I'm Josh Bernstein, filling in for.
I'm going to give my opinion. Hey, Bernie, since you're a hardcore communist, why don't you give up your salary? An idea, an opinion, respectful opinion of mine. Why don't you give up your salary and everything and do it for free? Why don't you work for free? You was a bum once. You could do it again. Show yourself that you're a real communist. Instead of requesting people, professionals, to work for free, why don't you do it for free? Why don't you give up all the millions to fight the coronavirus? Why don't you sell your 3 homes that you have as a millionaire? Why don't you sell them and invest the money for that? Be a real good communist dummy like you always been all your life. Work for free. Don't put it on other people. Oh, you're the one who got more money than I do, like you told one lady. But the lady answered you very well. She said, well, I'm not the one who's running for president. You are. So you're the one who's running for president. Why don't you show an example? Why don't you do it? Why don't you do everything you want for everything for free for everybody? Why don't you do it for free? Why don't you be truthful and tell the people, hey, everything's going to be for free. Once I come in power, this isn't going to be anything. Because everything is going to fall in my hands. All production is going to go to shit. Production is going to go to hell. Because I'm going to be charged the 95% tax, which is going to go to my pocket. And to the army, I'm going to create to oppress and enslave the whole nation and destroy it without rights. Why don't you tell that to the people? Why don't you be truthful? Why don't you tell it to the ignorant liberals that follow you and think everything's going to be for free for nothing? And then everything disappears like it happened in the other communist country like Cuba, who used to import one of the most finest quality shoes and other products. Why don't you tell the nation that? Why don't you tell them, look, once you come to power, you're not going to be able to get shoes. You're going to have to invent it. Use like they're doing in Cuba. Use plastic bottles or something. You can find it. Because everything will be disappearing, including those who want the green deal. Everything is going to disappear because people are going to have to try to find food. They're going to have to kill all kinds of animals, exotic ones. Those are in danger of extinction. Why don't you tell the truth, Bernie? You know what? You're a liar. You're a damn liar. What happened? You haven't found the person to confront you and tell it right in your face. Hey, why don't you say this? Why don't you do this? Why don't you tell the people this and that instead of all the lies you're saying, spitting out of your filthy mouth? That's my opinion. Let me see this other one. Let me see this one here. This one I got. Okay. This guy is great, but okay, I'm not gonna, because for the last 33 minutes, I'm gonna stay here for 33 minutes. Plus, I got to go to the video in Spanish, but it has to do with Don Miller. Don Miller, he's great. Mark Dice is great. Dan Bongino is just superb. I try to listen to him early in the morning. Sometimes before I go to bed for the next day, I try to hear him before when he comes out because he's great. And since his lasts like about sometimes even more than an hour, I try to listen to him before I get on early in the morning to post news about what's happening. But Don Miller's great too. What happened? I'm not going to spend here the 33 minutes because, like I say, the signal might go off on me 1 minute or another. I'm not going to be here all day. So let me go to the next. But he's great. As one of the great, he's one of them. Let me go to the next one. The thing is, I forgot to post him on the news this morning. I forgot to post his, and I forgot to post him on my blog. Let me put that down one second here. No, it's not gonna happen here because he is a little bit different than on my computer. I can't do it here on the cellular phone. That's a way of doing it, but it's gonna take me too much time. Okay, let me go to the next news. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to go to the next one. I'm gonna try next time if I remember. I get these Joe Biden syndrome. Let me see what this one. I hope I got Mark Dice. Mark Dice is incredibly good.
Protesters ruined Joe Biden's low-energy rally in Detroit at a high school gym. I'm Josh Bernstein filling in for Gary Franchi in the Next News Network. Now, before I get...
Okay, I think that's kind of old. The rally in Detroit. I think that this was in a gym. Okay, let me see what this. Let me show you what this is all about.
Protesters ruined Joe Biden's low-energy rally in Detroit at a high school gym. I'm Josh Bernstein filling in for Gary Franchi in the Next News Network. Now, before I get to the story, folks, remember Next News is being heavily censored and taken out of suggested video. So please do us a favor. Make sure you're still subscribed. You're getting your notifications. And, of course, if you're new to the channel, please check out the newsletter in the description below. Now, let's get to your story here. According to Christina Latif of the Gateway Pundit, Sleepy Joe Corn Pop Biden held a rally, well, it was more like a little get-together, with Kamala downtown on Willie Brown Harris and Cory Bathhouse Booker on Monday night at a high school gymnasium.
I thought Booker was in prison.
Detroit, Michigan. As always, the rally was low energy with barely anyone in attendance. Biden was flanked by two big-name senators who just endorsed him, and still he couldn't fill a high school gym.
That's because young liberals want everything free.
Filled with free Obama phones.
And they want to hear the bullshit coming out of Bernie Sanders.
Disrupted Biden on Monday night with a sign that said, NAFTA killed our jobs. Biden voted for NAFTA in 1994. Biden got triggered. Are you with Donald Trump? It's not a Trump rally. Let him go, let him go. The Bernie bros are here, Biden yelled. I'm surprised he even knew what Bernie bros were. Go ahead and roll this clip.
You know, I didn't go. Are you with Donald Trump? That's all right. Let him go. It's not a Trump rally. It's not a Trump rally. Let him go. Let him go. Let him go. The Bernie bros are here. Let him go. Folks, let him go. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. Let him go. Let him go. This is not a Trump rally.